As you take inventory, I mean, I'll let you pick where you want to begin first, whether it's Durant, and I imagine that's where we should start because he was just spectacular. Yeah. Where do you begin with his performance?
You go back to the first half. I know he closed the deal at the end of the game, and it was reminiscent of what he did in Game 3 last year. This team's down 15 points at halftime if it's not for Kevin Durant in the first half. They had nothing going offensively other than his greatness and shot-making ability. So I thought he really put them on his back the last 8 to 10 minutes of the half just to get them within striking distance. Because I look at the beginning of this game, Scott, Cleveland came out with appropriate level of energy. They were physical, getting offensive rebounds. They had guys contributing like J.R. Smith made some shots early. Kevin Love was hot early in the game.
Those guys combined for 25 in the first half. It's got to be somebody other than LeBron. Those guys gave you 25 in the first half. But to the point into the highlights we just showed, those two, the and one and the three, made it a 6-point game.
Yeah, you do all those things and you're up and you go on a 15-8 run to end the half. 6, you're still up, feels different. We talk about all the time closing quarters. I just thought Durant kept them afloat and then obviously sealed the deal down the stretch. Now, he did get pretty much what he wanted against who he wanted it most of the night. And there were a few possessions late when I thought LeBron James, who was waiting on him at half court, I'm talking about big possessions, he easily handed him off and readily handed him off on a screen that did not necessarily facilitate a switch. And I was curious there because, and you heard those guys talk about it in the postgame a little bit, say, what about the old days when you would just say, no, what, not anymore, this is mine now. We don't really see that anymore unless you're a specialty-type defensive player like a 3-and-D type guy that's going to get that guy the whole time. And I really wanted to see LeBron take on that challenge because clearly the guys he was getting the switches could not really contest them. They look like they're contested shots, not for a guy like Kevin Durant. Freedom of mind over Kevin Love, over George Hill, J.R. Smith. It's different than when you get a guy like LeBron James up in your face who can actually challenge that shot at a higher level.
And I think back to the Steve Kerr line, and honestly at this point I've forgotten when he said it, but he said he's the ultimate luxury. Yeah. And a night like this shows exactly why he's the ultimate luxury, because as a team on the road, you can absorb this type of performance from one of your very best players in Steph Curry and still win a game. I think this is the exhibit A of exactly what Kerr's talking about.
Yeah, normally if you don't get out of Curry, then that means Klay Thompson probably had 25. He didn't really do much tonight either. It was the individual great shot making of Kevin Durant. And this is what it is to be on that level where you can literally score from any part of the floor over guys. Like the contested shot-making ability that he put on display tonight, this is why Kevin Durant is who he is. But again, that's Kyle Korver. It looks like he does a nice job.
Right.
In Kevin Durant's mind, that's Kyle Korver. He's not going to react to me as quickly, so I'm going to shoot this ball over the top. This was a play when LeBron handed him off to Kevin Love. He gets where he wants to 12 feet. Now, this is stupid. This is 35-footer, and 2 guys are out there.
Right.
But it didn't matter once he got flowing like that. But I really thought if you go back and look at the close of the second quarter, it set up what he did late in the game, and it set up their ability to be up 3-0.
I agree, and that's why I jotted that down, because, I mean, obviously we'll talk about the end game, we'll talk about the massive numbers on the page, but I'm really curious what that, in his mind, was worth going into halftime and cutting that lead down to just 6.